Hi there, and welcome back to another edition of Scale Up Radio, the podcast inspired by the Entrepreneur Scale Up system and designed to make navigating our scale up journeys that little bit easier by learning from each other's experiences. I'm Granger Forson, and on this episode of the show, I'm joined by Paddy Vanessa White of Virtual Diamond. Today, we delve into the world of virtual assistants, exploring Paddy's decade-long journey of growth, team culture, and client-centric services to bring the wow factor. To ensure you don't miss any inspirational future episodes, do subscribe to Scale Up Radio wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. You can also nominate a guest for Scale Up Radio if you know someone with an interesting scale-up journey. You can find out how in the show notes. So, let's now dive into the inspiring journey of dedication, strategy, and innovation with Paddy White. Hello, Paddy White. Welcome to Scale Up Radio. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, I'm Paddy White. I run a business called Virtual Diamond, which is a team of virtual assistants. We help small to medium-sized businesses with social media management and all things administration. Basically, it's back office, everything back office to any business. We're based in Gloucestershire, but we do have clients all over the UK and lately in Denmark and Portugal as well.
Wow, expanding overseas. Exciting.
I know, it's very exciting news.
Brilliant. So, okay, VA work, etc., your back office. Give some flavour of the type of things that you do for your clients.
So we like to say to our clients is we like to do everything that doesn't bring you money. So it's the, chasing your invoices, putting up your posts on social media, writing your post, scheduling it, keeping your database updated, following up on any leads that you may have, or sending Christmas gifts as we did recently, setting up your Christmas meals, setting up we help with staff as well. So it is like making sure that your staff are looked after. We would get contracts signed, make sure you're compliant. We would make sure you have all your documentation, help you with your process documentation to make sure that you are doing everything you should be doing. And you know what, for example, is your client journey. So when you get a client, what happens? And we would help you through the whole thing. So you will say, I've got a new client. Can you send out a contract? We do that. We make sure it's signed. We make sure you're compliant in terms of having your identity collected and all that. We send out invoices if you need to, because we have a bookkeeping side to the business as well. So yeah, everything that most business owners don't like to do.
Absolutely, yes, because we just want to do what we do best at rather than all the other elements. But a business needs all those other elements being done. So yes, I totally understand the need for the VAs and the structures of them. So how long have you been going? How big are you now?
Oh, next year is going to be our 10-year anniversary. So I'm quite excited that I made it to 10 years. I've taken the jump 2 years ago, and I now have employees. But before that, I worked with a lot of consultants. And at the moment, there's myself and a team of 5. So we are 3 employees in total and 2 consultants. But the consultants have been with me for over 8 years, both of them. So they're pretty much family now.
Yes, part of the business, part of everything that we do.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice the fact that they stayed with me for so long. I take a lot of pride in that because I feel like they like working with me and like working with the businesses we work with, and they like the culture that we provide as well. So that's good.
So tell us, VA, you've given us a good description. What do you try to excel at? What makes you different and try and stand out?
What I like to do is go into a business. When I meet a client, I firstly ask them what it is that's causing them pain and what is it that's preventing them from sleeping at night or working later than they should or staying out on the weekends and putting a couple of hours in. And are those things billable? Or is it just things that you need to do for your business? And if it's not billable, then it's where we come in. What I like to do is show my clients that what we do can make a difference to them. So if we take off those things, how much more time would you have to do the things you want to do, either within your business or even in your personal life. But I like to see differences in the clients that I work with. I don't like going to a business and just doing what they were doing for the last 10 years, the same thing going forward. I like to go into a business, understand what it is they're doing, and then offer them a solution to make it a quicker process, an easier process, and something that when they think about it after working with us for, say, 3 months, they go, wow, that's good. And that made a difference, or that's saving me time, or that's saving me money. And if I don't, that's my sense of satisfaction in the business when my client comes to me and go, wow, you helped me do that. And I feel great. Or that's amazing.
The wow factor.
That's my high. That's my high.
Yes, the wow factor, which
The
we're all
wow
after,
factor,
but you.
for sure.
But
Yeah. And I think because we work with so many different businesses and so many different sectors, it's our life is very varied in our jobs. Every client comes with a different requirement, with a different need from us. But all myself and my team, if we can make a difference to their day to day, then we feel job satisfaction.
just making a note of that, making a difference to your clients day to day. Fabulous. That is definitely a differentiator for anybody to do that. So you talked about clients across multiple industries. Give us what types of clients do you work with, or are you currently working with?
So when I started the business 10 years ago, it was very much a case of nobody knew what a virtual assistant was. So to get those clients was a really hard task. So we ended up taking whoever came to us. So it wasn't a restriction on which industry or sector we worked with. So that means in the last 10 years, I've accumulated clients that are, I've got entrepreneurs. I've got people who work in another job, but I manage their personal life. I've got small businesses that's just one person in the business and they need somebody else to help them in their jobs. I've got medium-sized businesses where they've got lots of staff, but they need me or my team and I to manage certain aspects of their business. But the sectors run from the medical field to the interior architects and design, to HR consultants, to finance people, to marketing consultants. It's such a wide range. One of my goals for 2024 is actually to try and focus where we want to go. It's really hard for us to do that at the moment because it is changing our mindset in how we think. But somebody said, at the moment, our net is very big and we're trying to catch all the fish, but we want to catch specialized fish. If we have an industry that we focus on, maybe we can increase our ability to help that specialized sector as well. So that's a goal of mine for next year.
Yeah, we often talk about niching down and having a specific target market of how we're going from. But it's interesting the way you describe the way you help your clients, which is creating that wow. So you don't just do what they do. You actually take what they do and improve it and turn it based on your experience. But having that mixture of different industries may give you that chance to actually say, how can we make that wow factor even bigger for a key individual? So,
I do think that the fact that we work in different sectors as well, we are able to help each client because there's sometimes when we learn something with a new client because as virtual assistants, we're constantly learning because each client comes with their own requirements and own CRM and own platform they work on. And, so we are always learning. Sometimes we learn something with one client and then we go, oh, actually, that's quite a good thing. And then we can offer it to another client and say, we've heard about this and we're working with this on another client, but we think it would really help you in this way. So that working cross-sector, cross-industry kind of has its benefits as well. And it makes our life really interesting. We're never bored because no 2 days are the same.
And I'm interested. You also said personal lives. You take people to help. Wow, if I may, what type of things do you do in someone's personal life? I understand business life, being a business owner myself. What?
Yes. So I've got a client who's in the medical industry, and we organize things. He has a PA within his job, but that PA is very much his business life, and we're looking at he speaks in conferences, and he's a fellow in certain societies, and he's a professor somewhere else. So those all fall outside of his actual job. So I arrange travel for him. I arrange, hotels. I arrange the conferences. I've got other clients where we did things like we went to their house and sorted out all their filing for the family. And we've got clients where we help out sort family calendars and holidays for family and things like that as well. So it's not just sticking to the day to day. It is wherever we can give them some time back, we kind of jump in. There's certain things that they go, can you do that? And we go, oh, actually, no. But generally, we do build really good relationships with our clients, so that we don't mind jumping in and out of wherever they need us. I have clients that I've started with 10 years ago that are still clients of mine. 99% of all my clients are referral clients. I don't have a sales process, which is really bad. It's one of my things for 2024 is actually to do that. But yeah, all my clients are referral clients. So before they get to me, they already have an idea of what we do, the fact that we do it well, and they want to work with us. And we've sort of grown organically because of that. But at some point, I need to look at the next level, should we say.
Well, every business needs multiple over time to get growth. You need multiple funnels to bring in clients. But
Yes.
a growth through referrals is one of the strongest ones that you can do for
Yes.
that. And actually, it also takes the longest. So you've used probably the longest one, but the strongest one to
Yeah.
first grow your business. So well
My
done on that. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my clients, I worked with him via another client about 6 years ago, and he came back to me last year and he said, "I'm finally ready to work with you now." So I met him through another client of mine, and he said, "One day I'll be ready to work with you." And he came back after 6 years to work with us, and he's now a current client. So that's for me is a rush, that somebody remembered us long enough to come back.
Wow, brilliant. So we've got a really good understanding of your business and the types of clients that you work with. So let's go back to the beginning, nearly 10 years ago. So what was the trigger? Why did you start and create Virtual Diamond?
I was working in London, and we moved out of the city to come to the Shire where I live now. And in between and I had a little boy at the time, but I was traveling to Bristol every day by train, and there's one train going out of the village. So you either catch that one or you miss it. And there was one train coming back every hour. So I was working really long hours. The train was expensive, and we worked it out. I was earning £20 a day to go to work, pay for my child's childcare, plus the train tickets and everything. And my husband said, "I'll give you 20 quid a day. Just stay at home." It will, you cook much better than I do. I hate cooking. I don't mind looking after my son, but he misses you. He's asleep when you get back. It's very drowsy in the morning when you go to work. So I'll give you £20 a day. And he was the one who gave me the idea of this, because he's in IT and he's heard of that it's possible. So I did. I started. He was my first client, and one of his clients became my second client, and it started there basically a long time ago now.
10 years. Yes. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, and one of the things I did, like when I started, it was my first client ended up being very much it was supposed to be a part-time, so I could still do work, have childcare and all of this, but it became very quickly a full-time role. And I lost why I started the business, because I was working long hours and, traveling a lot. And so I went back and I said, this is not working. This is not why I started working for myself. And then at the time, it was a case of, well, this is what the job has evolved to, so you need to. And I was like, no. And then realized I had all my eggs in one basket. So I vowed never to do that again. So now I have lots of clients. If there is ever a shift and one goes, but it's not going to be a big dent in our lifestyle as such.
Yeah.
That was my learning.
Yeah, that's a great learning, and to have that fairly early on.
Yeah,
Business. Yeah, having a diversity of clients. You've got strength and robustness then if one leaves, and having all your.
And I think when COVID hit, for example, we had I think in the week we lost most of our clients. Everybody said, we're not working, we can't afford you, everything. But all of them came back within a few months, because they realized that we were still working and we could still work, because we were already suited for working online and working away and all of that. So we pretty much started work after a couple of months again, full, with all the clients that left, bar one. But I didn't want him back because he didn't pay my bills. So I didn't approach him. It's like, you could stay there.
So that was the first learning. Any other sort of key learnings you've had over the last 10 years?
Key learnings. Your clients are very important because they are your bread and butter. But if you don't look after the people that work with you, then your clients will never be happy. I always endeavor that my staff and my team are really important to me. And I always take whatever they say on board. And we do have the system where it's a 30 days both-way break. So if we're not happy, if things are not working, if we're not able to work efficiently, we are able to break the contract both ways. So I like that idea that I can now say, actually, this relationship's not working. We need to stop, or we need to change it to make this work or not. So I think one of my key learnings is, for a long time, I have stuck to clients just because they are clients. And as I get older and wiser in the business, it's more a case of, we need to be happy in the business. My team needs to be happy as well. So if people are happy, they give off their best work. Keep your team happy.
Yes, and we often say losing those really problematic customers completely revolutionizes our businesses, but we hang on because we're worried about revenue, but suddenly we discover this whole nirvana when we do that. So very good advice.
That was a very big revelation for me. It's just like, we work remotely, so there's not much that keeps us going. But if we're happy, then it makes it easier being so far away from everything and everybody.
Yeah.
I want a happy workplace.
So you've made decisions, you've changed directions, you've introduced things, like moving away from consultants to full-time employees as well. How do you go about making those type of strategic decisions?
So the decision to move from contractors to employees is that I think employees will definitely have more dedication to your clients and more dedication to the business, because that's their job and they're paid to do that. Whereas consultants could have other things going on and they might have other clients outside of my business as well, whereas an employee is dedicated to the business. So that was the reason for moving away from hiring more consultants. So going forward, I will only hire employees. And in terms of the clients, I think it was more a case of, I wanted to work with people that I got on with, or that we as a company got on with. we I want to create an ethos where we work with businesses that are sustainable. We work with businesses that have an idea of where they want to go. They have a future that they're looking forward to and something we can equate to. That's the idea that I want to work with. And I want to work with people that respect what I do and respect what my team does. And I think if you don't, then there's always going to be a little bit of conflict because you don't respect my time. I turn up to a meeting, you're not there. You give me the things in a, do this. Okay, can I have some instruction? You should know how to do this. The way you talk to me. So I want to work with people that respect me and my team and respect what we do as a job as well.
Excellent. Yes. Yeah. The selection of customers is really, really important. And
Yes.
as you become, your business increases in length of time, you learn those type of structures and the right type of people that you want to work with.
I think also being in business for such a long time, you get to the point where you kind of have an idea of what you want the business to be.
Yeah.
When you start off a business, you do take on any client that comes through the door. Doesn't matter what they're giving you, doesn't matter what their problems are, you will take on a client. But as you get as your business grows and as you grow within the business, you do have an idea of how you envision this to go to make your life easier as well.
Mm. So as you've grown, you've taken on, initially you took on consultants, now you're taking on full-time staff. You've also mentioned that you work virtually a lot as a team. So how do you ensure the sort of team culture works?
We've just had our Christmas party. So although we work remotely, we do try and meet up. We have I have catch-ups with the team all the time, very regular catch-ups, at least once a week. We have a meeting at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week, what we've got planned for the rest of the week. Do you need help with anything? Is there anything coming up that's gonna offset what you're doing and that is going to cause you to work extra hours? And can it be passed around, or can something else be passed around so you can handle that? And then we have a meeting at the end of the week to just go through what happened this week. Is there anything we could have changed? And then we set up for the next day. We have a co-working space, which we've just started doing. And once a month, the entire team is invited to come into the office. So I'll be there. But who joins me is up to them. But we've realized that it's quite a nice way of team bonding as such, just to be working in the same space. To be honest, we probably do half work and a lot more catching up when we're there in the office. But I think because we're not in the same space most of the time, that actually quite helps. We've also extended that invite to the consultants. So if they want to join us as well, they're welcome to come in and work there as well. And we do try and meet up on a regular basis. So I would go off to the consultants and just say, I'm in the area for the day. Would you like to have a coffee or something? So I try and keep in close contact with them. In terms of the clients, I have once a year the good, the bad, and the ugly meetings. So they have to, we look at the year that went past, what was good about it, what didn't go very well, and how we can improve it. But it's also the time when we can look at their business and go, your business has grown now. We've noticed that you've taken on this bit. Would you need some help? This is what we can do to help you with that. Or we noticed you've got a slump in this aspect of your business. How are you dealing with that? And can we help you to do something with that? And then on the other hand, that's the annual meeting, but we do have monthly catch-ups with clients as well. Even if they're working with the consultants in the business or the staff in the business, the meeting is with me. So it is a time for them to say, this is not working, or this is working. This is how we can change things. And it's two-way, because consultants will feed into me and go, can you ask them to do this or change the process or whatever as well. So that kind of gets over the bit that we're all working very remotely and very separated.
I do like that, the good, the bad, and the ugly meeting with your clients. In terms,
yes.
We have something similar. We do it once a week within our team, and we do a stop, start, continue conversation. So within our weekly meeting, we have a section called stop, start, continue. We say, what are we going to stop doing this week? Yeah, what are we going to start doing this week? And what are we going to continue doing this week? And it just drives a conversation around, okay, what isn't working or what doesn't work anymore? What do we need to fix or what do we do? And it drives some really good debates sometimes. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I also think it's a good way of finding an issue before it becomes too big.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can correct it at that time, as opposed to leaving it for 6 months before you realize, this is this problem and it's now too big to contain. And then it becomes a bigger thing and you lose the client more likely in that way than if you deal with it in little chunks.
You'd be amazed how many times you go, well, actually, stop. Why are we doing this? Let's just stop doing it. Well, it doesn't do anything.
Yes.
We invented it for some reason, but that reason's totally gone now. So let's stop. Yeah, and even having continued conversation. Why are we going to continue doing this? Well, let's make it a little bit better. You know, they drive great conversation, those three statements. So yeah, I love that good, bad, and the ugly. I love that structure. Yeah. So very good.
And my team is is also really young. My employees are really young compared to the old fogey that I am compared to them. But it's quite interesting that during these times they will come to me and they go, "Why do you do that?" I go, I always did that. It's like, well, how about we try this? And I'm really open to them coming to me and going, try this new way. So I feel like I'm learning from them a lot as well.
Brilliant. I'm interested. Yeah. One of the things when we're business owners and we're trying to grow a business and support our staff and support our clients, everything else, we can get overwhelmed by it all. And you even talked about the reason why you created your business, and then you had that moment in the business going, I can't just work for one person. This doesn't work. How do you manage overwhelm and not feeling all that huge pressure?
It's very difficult. Especially like I said, at the moment, I'm trying to finish off a lot of things before year end. I'm part of a business group where we meet up a whole lot of businesses get together and we chat once a month. And I think being held accountable to the goals that we set and what we plan to do makes me do it. And even in terms of the overwhelm, it's a thing. I think I personally get overwhelmed when I think about it and I know that I need to do it, but I don't do it. And it just gets left and left and left. But having somebody who holds me accountable to what I need to do makes it easier for me. And then it negates the whole overwhelm thing. There are times when we've got clients who we do a regular task for them, but suddenly there is a big project that they've got that they want us to jump on. And then suddenly our X amount in the day goes to X plus 10 hours a day. But luckily, that's not a standard process. We're happy to go over and work the extra time and extra hours and be a little bit overwhelmed within the situation, so long as it's in a constant state of mind. But I think I work really well with being held accountable, so by my team and by the group of businesses that I work with as well.
Brilliant.
It keeps me sort of, I need to do it, so just do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's also one of the key ways that we work with our clients is that collaboration and that accountability. So it is an amazing benefit that comes with those working together. And then cash is king. Cash is so important. How do you manage and keep an eye on cash in your business?
I try very hard. So personally, within my business, I put away, I save money as if it's a bill. So like monthly, the tax money goes off. I have to pay it every month. It doesn't matter. The bank account takes off a percentage of whatever money comes into the account automatically into another account. So that's what I do. Even in terms of for Christmas presents for my clients, there's a pot somewhere in the business that's the Christmas pot, the money pot. from a very young age, my dad taught me about saving. My first paycheck came and he made me buy into a pension scheme at the age of 18. And I was like, I'm just 18. I'm not 100. But from a very young age, it was very much a case of always save for a rainy day. So we do have, I do have lots of pots, but also all my clients pay via direct debit. So I don't have any bad debts. And I have the working relationship with them where if something does go wrong, they can come and say to me, I can't make it this month. I generally have a good idea of what their business is like. So I can say, well, okay, I know next month you've got all of these things planned, so it will come through. So there are options for that. But I don't have bad debts just purely because I'm on direct debit and everybody pays me on time.
Yeah, good.
And we've signed up to the Good Business Charter as well. So, which means that, we pay our suppliers on time and hopefully our clients will pay us on time.
Yeah. No, and cash and managing cash like that is brilliant. We talk about the profit first process. You've just described that very similar for that, and that's the real power of putting those monies away first, and then what's left is what you have to run the business on. And if
exactly.
You haven't got enough, you've got to grow the top line or restrict yourself what you could spend. It's
yes.
that. It is
yes,
simple,
definitely.
but it is
a
simple,
little at a time.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, brilliant. And okay, so if I was to give you a magic wand and you could change something about the virtual assistant industry, what would that be? What would you wave your wand over?
I think it's changing people's minds about virtual assistants. Like I said, post-COVID, there was a massive influx of virtual assistants in the industry where the people who came in didn't fully understand how things worked. And a lot of businesses we speak to now have had a bad experience with the virtual assistant. So it makes us selling what we do a little bit harder because they've already been introduced to somebody who wasn't serious about what they do. I think when you're looking for a virtual assistant, you should look at, are they registered for, do they have insurance? Do they have staff? Who are their clients? What is it that they do? How long they've been working and what are their working hours? There's a lot of things to look at when you're looking at buying into the virtual world, because there's a lot of people who do it as a part-time thing. They do it, looking after their kids, which is great. And there's no disrespect to that if that's the way they choose to work. They want to do something personally, but they need some money. So it's like, I can do a couple of hours here, there, and everywhere around the childcare and around the, walking the dog or whatever it might be. And that's the way they want to work, which is perfectly fine. But as a client looking for that virtual assistant, do you want somebody who's available various times, or do you want somebody that's going to be on it when you need them, kind of thing? Yeah. So you need to have that thought process. So I think it is, what would I do? I would ask people to be a little bit more aware of who the virtual assistant is and what it is that they're doing. Have a bit more transparency into the virtual assistant world and the virtual assistant you want to work with. Just be a little bit more aware of how they work so that it doesn't give the rest of us a bad name.
Brilliant. And Paddy, we're going to meet again in, say, 5 years' time, okay? And we're going to sit and have coffee together and look back over the last 5 years, okay? So what's happened both professionally and personally for you for the 5 years to be a success?
I will have a team working behind me that at the moment, I work in the business as well as on the business. I want to be in a position where I am working a lot on the business, improving the way we work, how we work, properly interviewing the clients that we come in, and then hand it over to my team that I could trust. I trust my team now implicitly, but going forward, my team would be bigger. I would be bringing the business in and they would be doing the work. Whereas at the moment, it's not so much just me bringing the business in. I do both. And I have a couple of clients who won't go work with anybody else because they've been with me for a long time. And they're like, oh, but we want you to do it. So I need to wean them off me.
Brilliant. Well, Paddy, thank you so much for a fantastic conversation today about the world of virtual assistants and how to find the right type of people when you're looking for a virtual assistant. I mean, the range of clients that you look after, and even talking about, personal requirements that we all have to having a virtual assistant. Well, what I loved was, you talk about helping your clients see where their pain is and how you take it away. And you called it the wow factor. You don't just do the work for them, you actually improve the work for them, you deliver that change and that ability to them to go wow. And that's what I really loved, and a key thing that I got from this conversation. Another beautiful one, your attention to detail around cash and having little savings and structures is very good, and a very key element of any business as it grows and scales is to be able to have that, having that understanding that your team is so important and is almost more important than your client. And you've learned that, well, sometimes the client isn't right because they're not right with the team, they're not right where we're going. And with the clients, that wonderful good, bad, and ugly meeting. I thought that was fabulous. What a great idea to have with them. So, Paddy, thank you so much for this conversation. We always finish off with a quick fire round, if I may. So, off we go. If you went back to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself?
To acknowledge I'm a business owner a lot earlier than I did. For a long time, I was just this person who was doing some work and, I was making some money off it. But I think I would say in the last 2 or 3 years, I can finally say I'm a business owner. I'm a successful business owner. I've won awards. And yeah, I would tell my younger self, or at least even 4 years ago, go, come on, you're a business owner now, own it.
Brilliant. You mentioned awards there. What awards do you have?
So this year, Virtual Diamond won the Independent VA of the Year award with the PA Forum. And one of the reasons why I love this award is because it's an award that was given to us by my fellow peers within the VA and PA world. So it wasn't voted for by your client or anything. It was proper interviews by people who know what you do and how you do it. And so to win that award makes me feel like, we're good in the right world.
Well, congratulations. There we go. We must put that into the thing. So, books, any books you recommend?
So recently, I've read the Tony Robbins book, The Go-Giver as well by Bob Berg. That's on my shelf at the moment. But the latest one that I'm listening to on podcast is Menopausing by Davina McCall. So that's occupying my brain space at the moment. We all at that. I'm at that stage now where these things make a difference in my life. So that's my book at the moment.
Awesome. Onto your mobile phone. Are there any apps that make a difference for you?
The app that I'm on a lot at the moment, I'm learning Duolingo. I'm learning Spanish. So I'm on that a lot. And then I have a couple of apps that makes a difference in terms of my fitness and meditation and things, which I do every mornings. I have a lot of apps in terms of business wise, but I think everybody has that, that makes you be organized and all of that. But yeah, the two that I spend a lot of time on are those.
Brilliant. My favorite question of all, who's had the most influence on you as a business leader?
My dad. I would say my husband for starting this business and keeping me going for the last 10 years. But the business acumen or the business mind is definitely my dad. My dad said to me, if you work for yourself, you'll never go hungry. And that has kind of always been at the back of my head. It's like, what can I do for myself so that I never go hungry?
Brilliant. So finally, Paddy, how can people get a hold of you?
So you can either contact me on LinkedIn. I'm Paddy Vanessa White on LinkedIn, or my website. But also, if anybody's interested, I've got some information that I can send out in terms of, 50 things a VA can do for you, where you can look at it and think about, Is there something you can hand over? Is it outsourceable? Is it billable? Is it something you have to do yourself or not? So if you just use the contact us page on the website, I can send that over to you. Just, for all those people thinking about whether they need a VA, you don't have to work with me, but it'll give you an idea of when you should be looking for a VA. So I've got some downloads that if anybody's interested, they can get in touch.
Brilliant. Paddy, thank you so much for this great conversation today.
You're most welcome. It was really interesting.
I hope you enjoyed that discussion, and if you're building and scaling your own business, you might well be interested in our book, The Entrepreneurial Scale-Up System. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a practical handbook around scaling a business in a structured way. And you can order a copy on all your favorite online retailers, including an audio version, or you can find it and other supporting resources on our website, www.esusgroup.co.uk. That's esusgroup.co.uk, which is esusgroup.co.uk.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.